So good morning, Nikki. I can
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me.
see us all. So thank you so much for agreeing to share your story with us this morning. We're so excited to hear what happened when you went into your purse and found 99p, and then what has happened next. So would you like to start your story?
Yeah, so if I knew what I knew now, I would have thought I'd won the lottery. If anyone was able to say to me, this is where you are, and this is where you're going to be. And actually I won nothing. All I won was that I found my focus and I got rid of fear, and I was so determined to succeed for my children. I was a professional retail senior store manager for a big store in Macarthur Glen, which is a £3 million turnover store. My husband was a banker. We had a £500,000 home, lovely cars, and I never saw it coming. I just had a phone call one day. I was in work and the children had rung me and just said, Mum, you need to come home. Dad's having an affair. And my life was just spun. I just felt as if I was free falling. And I went home and I confronted my husband and said, the children have found out before me. You know, if you met someone else? And he told me, yes, that he was in love with someone else and she was in love with him. And that was on a Thursday. By Monday, I was with my lawyers and I was filing for divorce. And I think the first year you go through a divorce, you know, you're financially okay because you've got savings, you've got a job, and you just think, okay, we'll work it through. Let's just, you know, you manage the mortgage, I'll manage the children, and we'll just sell the house. And so for the first year, you do just go through a terrible trauma of going through a divorce and missing the person you're no longer with. And it really upsets the dynamics of your business, of what you're doing. By the second year, I could see I was struggling. I was struggling so much in my job that the writing was on the wall. I was called into London, into head office, to say the business had lost 100,000 that year, and it was because of me, because I wasn't focused and I wasn't doing the job. And we just decided then that they'd give me up to about 4.5 months payoff to just go walk through the back door. And it was something I was so passionate about. It was my baby, it was my store, my team. And like everyone who walked through the front door with balloons and parties, I sneaked out the back door and broke my heart. I was absolutely broken. What followed on from me losing my job was that I quickly realised that I could not survive paying a big mortgage and managing the family on my home. My husband worked for the bank, so I knew the mortgage was in his name. And out of the blue, 12 months later, we get a knock on the door. It's the bailiffs, and they've now come for the house. They just said, leave the food in the fridge. You leave everything where it is. You're in court Monday morning, and we need, we'll come back with a court order just to get your personal belongings. We were homeless. You know, there was just nothing left. It's just, how much more could you take from me? It actually got even worse. So we go to court, and the judge says, when there's a repossession order on a property that your husband hadn't paid the mortgage for 1 year, I'm sorry, if they're going to give you a couple more months to stay there, that's really good gesture of them, but you have to go. And well, what happens now? And, you know, I can't focus on a job if I haven't got a home and the kids are there, all the furniture's there. I'm running out of money quickly, and I just don't know what to do. So I decide then to go to LinkedIn, and I contact every single person that I can find on LinkedIn to do with the bank. And I spam them. I sit in bed on a Sunday morning and I spam the hell out of all of them. And basically what came back was nothing, because it's an internal company for a bank for emails, and there's no way anyone was going to contact me. They could see, you know, I basically said to me, you have a duty of care for me and my children. We're about to be homeless Monday morning and be on the streets. We're going to be going to the council. Someone needs to help me. Lucky for me, on a Sunday evening, one of my emails had hit the CEO and one of the top people of the bank. And I'd said we'd lived in this home for 20 years. We'd never missed a payment on mortgage. We had money ahead on mortgage payments, and someone needs to help me, because if I end my life, then their duty of care is to protect me and my children. With that, they said, right, we're in court on the Monday, and you need to come up with 1 year's rent, not rent, 1 year's mortgage payments. And I said, it's not going to happen. I've cashed in everything at the moment. Right, okay, well, we'll come up with a plan, another plan. And basically what I did was then I sat there and I broke my heart and I cried, and my children were used to coming home and seeing Mum with a briefcase. Now they see me sleeping on the sofa, having a glass of wine, cry my eyes out. The house is in darkness, and they now think I'm going to commit suicide. So they come in, sorry, I do get a bit emotional. They came in one day and they thought I'd killed myself. And they came in and they felt my pulse and my nose, and they said, no, Mum's just had too much wine, she's fallen asleep. And with that, it was like a snap. I just knew straight away, I have to snap out of this, and I've got to find a way now to survive. And I focused on what it is I had. And all I had was about just under £1 in the bank. I was in arrears with my gas, my electric, everything. My Mercedes was taken. And I just knew, I thought, right, we need to start selling the hot tub and things around me that I've got of value. And if I can use my 4 walls, it's the only thing I've got left, because once the bank is paid back and all the debtors, because we had 2 businesses, I went into bankruptcy because of the divorce. If I can just use the 4 walls now, it'll give me a 6 month head start. Before, I just kept thinking, if somebody buys it tomorrow, we've probably got 3-4 months before we complete, and it'll give me time. So I got a skip. I put my wedding album in the skip. I put all personal things in the loft, and I went about setting up the house as basically a holiday let. And I started doing rooms, renting rooms out on Airbnb and booking.com. And very quickly, it was doing really well. I styled it, I furnished it beautifully, I painted it. And I was the person who was going back to my own home, having to rent out my daughter's bedroom and my son. I had to make them homeless. And I was the window cleaner, the gardener. I was doing everything there. I would spend 10 hours cleaning it, getting it, turning it back around, washing towels. I was just on a mission, and the money started coming in. And I very quickly realized, okay, if I can do it on this property, I need to get another one. So I go and get another property, and I do it for them, and I start taking a fee from it. And then I'm styling another property. And my goal now is to build and focus on building a business. So I then came up with a business plan. And as the business has grown, I'm taking more and more and more properties on. What's happening is they've all got properties. I don't have any. I'm still going to be homeless. Still got a house I've got to sell, and the bank's taking all the money. There's nothing to set up. So I just keep focusing on building this business and getting branding up and running. And it really drove me, because I started going through COVID and walking on the beach, putting headphones on, listening to positivity podcasts, and just constantly thinking, I can do this. I can do this. You watch me show you, my God, I'm going to do it. And it happened. So I then started writing business plans for people who were wanting to get a mortgage for a holiday let. So I would then do all the research for them on their property. We would then go to the mortgage lender. We would show them, I do all the research of what rates it was going to be in, what revenue, how much it was going to cost, and bang, like that, they get the mortgage. And I got another guy then would come along, and another landlord would say, Nicky, will you manage this for me? And it just started going really, really big. So I thought, right, it's time for me now to make my own business plan, because if you don't have a property, you can't get a buy-to-let or another property. You have to have a property first. So I go to the bank and I say, this is my business plan. In 18 months, I've turned over £1 million. The business has turned over £1 million. This is what I'm getting from it. If I can do it for them, can you help me? And it was at that point, the bank just looked and went, wow, I can't believe what you've achieved and what you've done. And I said, I know. I said, so all these properties that I've done, they all need to be mine in the future. And he just went, wow. So that was it. He decided as a bank manager, and they looked at it and said, we don't care what happened pre-COVID or what your books were, or that you were working as a manager in an outlet. It means nothing. What it means is you've got such a strong business plan. You've got a business set up where it's fantastic, because I put in my business plan that I've also got a styling and staging business that I can do other properties as well as holiday lets. Within the properties, everything they see, they can buy. So if you like me, you can buy me. So the cushions, I can get them for you. They can go into my website, and if they like it, they can buy it. And the business just started growing and growing and growing. And I would go back to the bank and say, right, I've got a property here I'm already managing, and I've got bookings on it now for the next year, and there's nearly 100 grand worth of bookings on it. They want to sell, I want to buy it. Right, let's find a way how we're going to do this. And then my first cottage came along, and it was a 1-bedroom. And I remember looking and just thinking, oh my God, I could make this in Pembrokeshire, an amazing property. It was going to be my baby, my first one. 1-bedroom. Now I could see 3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. And like that, bingo, I went wrong with a strong big plan, and I got that cottage, and it's doing really well now. And through that, then we got it valued, and it was worth, I bought it for 181, spent a lot of money then doing it up. And then we had it valued at 300,000 within about 3 to 4 months. And again, I went back to the bank and said, right, we've got equity in there, can we now release it and buy that one? And it just started going. And the excitement was, for me, I created a new person. I was no longer the wife or the mother who was just running her ass off, you know, doing 50 hours a week for someone else making their millions for a salary of about 28,000. I now turned my life around and I'm making money for me. And the fear had gone, the fear and everything that I had that was holding me back, like being in a bucket of crabs, I've now escaped. And all the hard work that I did, that I'd have to show you the photographs where you see my study is a beautiful study. And then my life changes and it becomes a dressing room and all my personal things are locked in there with a key. And I'm in this little room surrounded by bleach disinfectant while I'm typing away in a business plan. And there's people walking through the front door with a key going into my daughter's bedroom, my son's room, into my room, having a shower. And, you know, and my life was just, I just knew that I just thought I have to think about a plan for the future. And that's what I did. And through it, it's just been growing and growing. So I then get contacted by Rich House, Poor House. So at first I didn't really like the idea of putting me as this rich person and them as not a rich person, because I thought it was a bit degrading for them in this day and age. But they did it in a lovely way, because what they did was they found me as being the woman who's got the confidence and the understanding of business and how to make money, and a lady who'd gone through the most horrific time of her life. They were both working full-time for the government, and her husband had a hemorrhage on his brain, which gave him brain damage on the front part of his brain. At the time, they hadn't long been married, had a baby for 2 weeks. She had a business, which was a cafe in Lantwick Major. It went, and she's been through the last 12 years of just not loving herself, disappointed in herself, really just cannot get out of being on benefits, because she's probably bringing in around about £30,000 on benefit and can't get off the benefit, but she just wants her business again. She wants her life back. So when we swapped lives and she lived my life and she went into the holiday lets, and then she had an allowance of £1,700 a week, which was my allowance, and I had £80 a week. For me, it took me back to where I was on only £75 a week of job seekers, and they wouldn't even pay my mortgage. They wouldn't even pay the interest rate. And for me, I thought, you're actually doing better than me, because they're paying your rent, they're paying housing benefits, they're paying money to go and buy school uniform. I didn't get that. I was literally on about £75 a week to pay everything. And so I looked at her money, and what I could see was a woman who wants her life back. And that's when I thought, right, what we're going to do here, I'm not buying her holidays and giving her luxury things. We're going to mentor her. I'm going to find her the best networking business in South Wales, which is I Am Woman. So I'm delighted about. And they're going to follow our story. And we're basically going to take her on a journey now of building her confidence, getting her into a business plan, and getting her that dream that she wants to set up this cafe again. But I want to do a cafe different with her. I don't want to do just a cafe, because they don't actually make a lot of profit. And bringing someone into a coffee shop for a £2.80 cup of coffee is not what I'm all about. I'm all about upscaling. And when that person comes in, you're taking as much money out of their pocket as possible, because it's all about the upsell. So we've come up with an idea, which we're going to need probably investors to help us with. I'm looking for maybe a pub or premises that's got an upstairs premises as well, which we can turn into an Airbnb. So we've got an extra revenue stream coming from that. We're going to call the cafe the Poor House Cafe, as in PAW, to do with dogs, the Poor House Cafe, because she loves animals. And everything in there is going to be focused on a cafe for people to bring their dogs, for walkers, especially places like Lantwick Major. I was there and just looking around going, look at all the people with dogs. But this cafe won't just be pet toys for sale. We're going to create an organic pet food, which will be made out of powder, because Leslie knows about all this. She knows about pet food. And if you can add water to it, we can white label this now. We can make our own pet food. We can also have puppuccinos, we can have Prosecco's, we can have muffins, and we're going to do everything based around people going there, because it's an experience when they come in. You can even have dog food made to look like a pizza slice. And once you've got somebody in a buying position that comes in for a cup of coffee and they've got their pooch with them, and we can even give them a blow dry while they're here at the back, they can have their nails clipped. We can even have counters there where they've got a food bank for animals where people can donate things, and it's just, my mind just goes crazy with the excitement of what we can do. So Leslie's really excited, and I'm going to take her on this journey, but it's really important that she wants to do it now, and I've got to hold her back, because I said, no, before you get there you've got to fix yourself, and we have to make sure that we prepare you and you're fixed, and we get you on the right road with the right people and learning business and understanding it. So I've also put Leslie through, I've paid for her to have an interior design diploma as well, where she could study at home over the next 3 years, because she's passionate about interiors. So it's important that we have different plans within her business plan, that we can make sure she's got revenue stream coming in. And then what else have we done? But I'm also working with her daughter, who's got no confidence, very low self-esteem. So my daughter Morgan is an influencer on TikTok. She has 50,000 followers, and she gets Estee Lauder, she get Yves Saint Laurent, she'll have Charlotte Tilbury giving her products. So my plan is to brand my daughter and get her now not to do these big brands, to actually sell her own cosmetics. So that's another business plan I've got on the go. And in the meantime, we're going to focus on this young girl to keep her on track now with school and education. And hopefully we can bring her even into I Am Woman over the next couple of years, because I can see this story with this woman is just going to go huge. And it's just a beautiful story. And I know Leslie is so keen to get her home business, that I just can't wait to help her, and I know that this time next year she's going to be in an amazing place. And when I have looked at some properties that we can take on, I can already see £1 million turnover business very quickly. But we have to go through the process of setting the business up and doing it properly, and kind of that's where I am today now. I do have a retail shop that I've opened now in I will be opening shortly in Cardiff, in Pontcanna. It's going to be mainly based on online, and for all my clients and guests to be able to buy the products they see in the holiday lets, and I can use it as consultation, because again with the high street, it's losing a lot of presence at the moment, and what I need to be made focus of is that you don't waste money on salaries, and that you make sure that you turn around the business and it's making as much profit as it can very quickly. So that's where I am at the moment. I've just got lots of opportunities have come my way. I've also got an American company who are looking now to do a TV series with me for next year called Booked or Bust, where I will go into a property, could be an Airbnb, and what I will do with that property, then I will transform it, turn it around on just at £1,000 using what they got, and reset the business up from a failing business to a successful holiday let or a pub. I've got a couple I'm doing now as well in Wales. So I've got loads of opportunity coming away, and I would never have believed it possible. And if anyone had told me where I was going to be sort of just 3 years down the line, I would never have believed it possible at all. And really, that's my story, Cheryl.
Wow, what a wonderful story. Absolutely amazing. It's almost, well, everyone wants to give you a round of applause, so we're going to give you a round of applause. So we're going to be taking some questions. So who would like to ask the first question? Because there's so many aspects to unpack there.
Yeah, so much to go on.
Interested in how you did that mortgage piece, because you know she's a mortgage solution broker. So I don't know if you've got something, Lucy, you would like to ask with regards to how Nicky managed all this rebrokering of mortgages.
Yes, it's obviously an incredible story. Yeah, I think the main thing really for me was like people not realizing the ways they can build themselves with property. So like you said, like Airbnbs, with obviously that's like on a massive rise. Property landlords as well, so that's also a good thing. But yeah, it's really interesting to see what you've done to get in that position, and it's incredible that the bank even made that decision based on that as well, because it's not very often you see banks being a little bit lenient nowadays. But yeah, it's really good, and I definitely like to have a chat with you on a one-to-one basis, especially with me being a mortgage broker. But yeah, it's definitely Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
it's all about having that really strong business plan that when you sat in front of someone, you know the questions they're going to ask you, you've ticked, you've covered everything in there, that everything is yes, 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 yes. You're basically leaving them with no risk. And it's basically what I did. And as I'm building the business, there is no risk there. So they absolutely, I've turned around a lot of pubs at the moment. I've got another one I'm taking on now. It was going bankrupt. I could have bought it for 350,000. I wasn't ready then, but we've gone in, we've turned it around. It will turn over £1 million. It's doing amazing. And just to be able to go then to the councils, because another thing with Airbnbs at the moment is the planning permission. They will be closing down any in residential areas. A lot of them will be closed over the next 2 years. So to be able to go and sit in front of the Welsh Tourist Board and say, look what I've done, you need to come in and grade it. And they've said 5 stars, absolutely. We can then go to the council and say, we're changing the usage of this pub. It's now going to be an Airbnb, but we're keeping the style of it as a pub, because that is what we're selling. It's all about when people are flicking through accommodation and experience. And I understand it so well that to make money, you've got to give them the wow factor. So in my, for instance, I put a beautiful, nearly £5,000 bathtub and sink in there. It wasn't about the bathtub. It was about the fact I was going to stop somebody on the booking site and go, wow, I want to be in that bath. I want to take a selfie in there. And it's understanding business of knowing it's not just having a business that turns up. It has to make money every single day, every month. Because if it doesn't make money, you're just going to go bankrupt and you've wasted everything. And it's having that strong business plan, which is what I want to do with Leslie, and just rein her back, hold her back, do it properly, let it come naturally. And when it comes and you've got the right backing and the people and support around you, you're going to fly. Because when you're not busy, you're going to get these people coming in and helping you, especially me, to come in and say, okay, what's going wrong? What do we need to change here? And that's what's really important.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You have such wonderful energy though, Nicky. Where do you get this amazing energy from? Because so many business startups sit and wait, and I'm forever coaching people and saying, why are you sitting and waiting? Why aren't you out there? But you look to be somebody who's really out there and passionate to be out there and making your magic happen. So how do you do that? What tips could you give us?
I think it's about being confident, and it's all about the risk. That I've taken a risk now by opening a shop, that I've taken on business rates, a shop. It's not going to make money straight away, but I know it will. And I just know that now I've got it up with the shop signs. Now I'll be going up next week. Over the next few weeks, I'll be getting all the stock photographed in there. So I'm going to lose money, sure, but I know the bigger picture of where I'm going to be. I've already said to them, I won't be here in 3 years. This time next year, I'll be moving out of here, getting bigger premises anyway. It's about having the plan, not being scared, but you have to take action. You can't expect someone else to do your business plan for you. Be the person that you want them to be, because they have to do it themselves. If they're not strong enough and have the business mindset and the entrepreneur skills in them to do it, they will fail. They have to have it. It's okay having a coach and you can tell them how to do something, but if they can't do it for themselves, then they will fail. And so it's really important to build them up with their confidence and build them up to the business plan, so that when it's set in stone and they find those, they got the confidence and they understand and they know what they're doing. But for me, my daughter's got the same energy. She's just out there, and I'm saying to her, we're going to be going out to Japan, hopefully now for next year. We're going to start looking for a cosmetic range. We're going to get it branded this year. We'll get all the products brought over, but it's going to probably be 3 years before she can start selling it, because it can't happen overnight, because she will fall, because she needs to build it up slowly. We've got to build it up. And then when her audience is built up, which is what you need to capture audience. You need to have customers. So she just focuses now on building her 50,000 up to 100,000, 250,000, and keeps building it. When we get a product, it's just law of averages then. It's just 1 out of 100 just needs to purchase it, and you've got your customer base. So yeah, it's really, really good. Just exciting. I think that's what keeps me going, is just that I'm just so excited of the opportunities that are out there.
And the other question I wanted to ask you, because I see you a lot out on social media, you've got an amazing brand presence out there and a brand styling. Can you share with us how social media has helped you take all your business arms out there?
Yeah, I think you have to be mindful to know that retail is stepping back, and I think it will come back, retail, over the next 10 years, because it's just a reaction of everything. It's like, even now, you know, youngsters don't know about shoe shining, they don't know about having shaving and different things. They want to experience those things, so they will all come back into fashion. So it's knowing that you have to go with the trends. So with retail falling back, that you can't just have, say, a coffee shop and just be selling a sandwich and a muffin, because you will go bankrupt. They're going to go under. You have to be smart today. And when you start looking at garden centres now, where they've now got restaurants, they've got pet shops, they've got veterinary services, they've got delicatessens, they're bringing to you a whole day out shopping. It's an experience, and you've got to go there. But what they're all doing is using their social media as their open book, and you have to do that. You've got to reach out, and you've got to build your social media up. Absolutely. And that's all I've done from day one. We start building it up. Yeah.
And what platforms work for you?
I think Facebook is the best one for me. TikTok will be my next one, because it'll be a shop and it'll be lives, video lives. And again, you've got to have a lot of confidence in front of the camera. I do find Instagram, but my daughter says to me, don't worry, Mum, it does turn. You just got to keep going at it. But lots of them, you know, I go on every platform, on them all. But it's just a matter of growing them. But at the moment, because I'm growing the business, I'm not focusing too much on the product side of it, because I'm not there yet. I've still got lots of stock to come in. We've still got sofas to arrive. There's lots coming on. So it's just focusing on what I'm doing right now. Okay.
I would like to know if any of you have questions, because there's just so much to unpack here. Where do we start? Rachel, do you have a question you would like to pose here to Nicky?
I don't know, I'm just in awe, really. I can't imagine you as a fragile person. You know, when you tell your story, how you started and when your kids saw you, I just seeing you now with the confidence and your abilities and your capabilities and your drive and all that, you just, yeah, just seems like they must be two different people. I think you're epic.
I created a new person. I let go of the person I was, and I created a new one, because I was so scared of the future, to know that going into my 50s, I didn't have a home for me and my children. It's now being taken from us. And it felt as if I was going back to being 16 again. That now I've got to start all over again after what I built up for 25 years in a marriage, and everything I had planned is gone. I had to cash in all my savings. And it was the determination to succeed that I thought to myself, I am not going to the council. I'm being put on benefit. I'm just not putting myself through that. I couldn't go through that struggle of having £75 a week. I just remember looking at that money. And when I did Rich House, Poor House, and I looked at that money and I just thought, not for me. I'm going out there. I'm going to be a working girl. I'm going to pay my taxes, because no one's going to stop me earning the top money that I ever want to earn, because I need to help my children. I have to leave a legacy for them.
Yeah, it's inspiring, and particularly for your kids to watch it. I know they have to see some tough scenes, but it will mold who they become in the future. It's exceptionally strong. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and I think with Morgan as well, going through at age 16, going through her A-level, she was packing them in. She had the rejection from her dad. He's now with another woman with children, and she was just so low. And she said, I'm giving up. And I said, go and get a job in Macarthur Glen, Morgan, because I tell you now, for £1,000 a month, you won't even pay your rent. And I basically then, I knew how talented she was. And I started off by introducing her, because I could see she was arty. And I thought, if I buy some nail varnishes and a bit of makeup and just I'm invest in her, she'll find a creative side. And she did. And then through that, then I dragged her out of her pajamas and said, come on, there's an interview for Estee Lauder in Macarthur Glen. Go along, come on, show them how good you are at makeup and how good you are at selling. She got the job. And then through that, then I said to her, get a portfolio together. Let's show them your TikTok. Let's show them how amazing you are. I gave her the confidence. And when she did it and went to university, and they said, unless you got your A-levels, you can't come on the course. And we showed them, said, look how good she is. They turned around and went, wow. They said, we believe she'll be the best makeup artist to come out of South Wales. So what we're going to do is, without a doubt, we're going to give you a course. We're going to give you a place in the course, Morgan, but you have to do your maths and English. Will you do them? And you can come on the makeup course. So she gets her bachelor's now next month. She's going to
wow.
And she's flying. She's just doing absolutely, her confidence has flown, and her makeup, what she does for television and movie, it blows me away that if I didn't focus on her, and put my children first at the time when they needed me the most, and help my son set up his business because he was with his dad and his dad's business went into bankruptcy. So my son at 21 was bankrupt. And even now today, he can't get things because of the bankruptcy his dad put him through, because he was a partner with his dad. So he just really come out of school and my son's bankrupt. So today, yeah, I'm leaving here now and we're going to his flat to pack it all up, and I'm guarantor to move into a new place. And it's just, for me, it's to make sure that unless I'm the role model for my children, then they're not going to do well in the future. I have to show them how to do it. And that's what I do. And then when Rich House, Poor House come on, which will hopefully be out in the next 3 months, I did it because I wanted to give back, because I wish there was someone there for me when I was like Leslie, when I was on the floor and I had nothing, there was no one there for me. Yes, you've got your family and friends, which will say, I'm really sorry, but the doctors just give you antidepressants. The government gives you £75 a week and won't pay your mortgage. There is no one to help you. So unless you say to yourself, the only person who's going to save my ass and save me is me. I have to get up in the morning to go to the gym. I've got to get my mind set so focused and eat good food. And when you start getting into that rhythm, it just goes bang. And then when I'm sat in front of, like I've just taken on a property, £500,000, and I sat there just smiling because I thought, wait till he sees my business plan. He's going to be blown away. And I sat there and they looked at each other and they're going, okay. And who's the accountant? Clayshore Thomas. Okay. Right. Okay. And they're looking at each other and they just smile and just go, yeah, we can do this. We could do it. And I've gone, really, can we? Yeah. We're going to do this here. We're going to release assets there. Right then. Have you got 21 grand to put down? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, that's going to be paid down. Right. Okay. Let's get the ball rolling. And then we just go down the route then of like, let's change the what we're doing with the property. Let's get the right planning put in place. Let's set it up. Let's get the tourist board on board with us now as well. Let's get all the publicity from that. And then I offer then the cottages then to say the charities, so they can have it free for a weekend. They can fundraise on it and put it into a raffle and raise money for it, or I'll do it for respite. And I just do lots and lots of things which will bring me more and more of an audience in a different way. So by giving to them, I receive something back. And it's just, yeah, it's just fantastic. So I just got lovely things going on. And I just love what I do. And I just think I found my passion. I found what I was meant to do in life, which is to help others and to do what it is that I really love doing, which is interiors. Because before I was just a retail store manager, really working all Christmas and Easter and holidays, and I was probably very unhappy. And yeah, you know, one thing I have learned from it, be careful what you put on social media, because when someone else sees what you've got, they want to take it from you. And that was my family and my husband, because someone else had seen what a good life we had. So there's another side to my life. I try and keep a little bit of my personal life off social media, because yeah, she targeted him very much so then. And that was his little spark of, I'm going to have an affair. And be careful what you wish for. Yeah.
So another question that I have for you, obviously, you know, it was a disaster. You're looking in your purse and you see a 99p, that's all you had, that gave you that drive to do what it is that you're now doing daily and taking forward. I'd like to know, do you think sometimes, you know, some people just don't get there because perhaps they have it too easy and they don't have that back against the wall, I've got to make this happen for myself mentality?
I knew I could do it. I just absolutely knew that if I put my focus to this, I'm going to make this happen, because I'm not reliant on anyone. I've never had benefits in my life and I couldn't live that life. So to build up 25 years in a marriage where you've now got a £500,000 home, you've got lovely cars, great careers, and to lose it all, I couldn't go back to the beginning again. I just could not go back and think, I've got to start all over again now. I have to find a way. And all you've got to do is focus in on your four walls and say, what am I in control of right now? What have I got access to now that I can start earning money from? And I thought, even if it was going to be a cleaning company, I'd have the best cleaning company in South Wales, because I could have started that on nothing. And no matter what it was, my brain just sat there and I started just coming up with ideas of how can I make money from nothing? And I believe now I can still help so many people set up a business and take them on that journey like I want to do now with Leslie, because it will happen for her. She said, we've got to go through the process of doing it. And she's got to be fixed. You've got to love yourself. You've got to be confident. And because when you're in front of these people raising money or asking for loans and doing things, They got to believe in you. If you fall down and you're not there and you can't do it on your own, they won't lend to you. You become a risk. So that's really important.
And where do you get your self-belief from?
I believe I got it. In fact, I remember when I cried, I think every single day for months and months and months. And when you're sad all the time, it makes you very depressed. I did pay then for some coaching on me. And one of the things they did was they said, right, we want to fly you over your home, your life. And what do you see when you fly over? And I remember saying, I see a beautiful home, lovely family, lovely cars, careers. You know, it's the dream, what everyone wants. You're going on cruises, holidays. It's what everyone wants. That's what I work hard for. Where did you get it from? And we tapped in, which was amazing. I just was like so emotional when they tapped into it. That at age 12, my granddad had a cafe in Cardiff on Mill Lane, and I used to wash dishes for him for £6 on a Saturday. And I believe what happened was, what we tapped into is that my parents were working class. They 5 children, there were 7 of us in a 3-bedroom house. And they had no money. And I used to go back with letters from school saying, Mum, there's a school trip, going skiing. And I could never go. And this would go on every school trip every year. So all the children would go on these school trips except me. And then on the day of the school trip, I would always do a sickie. I would never go to school. My mother wouldn't even know there was a school trip. She would have forgotten by now, but I wouldn't go. But the kids started picking on me in school, saying we were poor and poverty. And it really affected my confidence very much so. So what I believe happened was by me then working for my granddad, and at age 12, I have £6 on Saturday, which would be worth, I don't know, maybe £30 today, that I empowered myself because I realised by working, I get something. And very, very quickly now I go to school and I can pay for my own school trips. I go to school and I've got the best trainers. I don't rely on my parents anymore. And as I'm starting to get 14, 15, I then have a market stall down in Bessemer Road Market selling jewellery, and I'm making money. And I'm very, very quickly saying, okay, I can get a car now. I'm making money. I can go and get finance. And at 17, I get a brand new car. And as my life is going on, I realise in order to get what you want out there, you just got to be confident, know what you're doing and go and get it. And you have to be very, very confident with that and know that you're going to succeed. And yeah, and that's exactly what I believe that started me off from age 12, washing dishes. That £6 on a Saturday empowered me to go and earn more and be independent, that I didn't want other people to do anything for me. And I do get frustrated today, even if I can't get it done right now. I don't want to wait for them. I'll just go and get the toolbox out and I'll drill the hole myself. I don't want to rely on anyone to do anything for me because I think, oh, bloody hell, do it yourself. Get the ladders out, get on the bloody roof, go and do the repair, go and do it. Because sometimes you wait for people and they let you down. And I've been so used to saying, don't wait for anyone. Do your own research, get your own business planning and do it yourself, because you know when you've given it over and you're doing a pitch on it, you know it inside out, back to front, upside down. You know your numbers, you know everything. And that's really, really important.
Well, it's been amazing interviewing you this morning. I've loved every minute of it. And I'm sure whoever's come in on the call today has got so much to take away. So we're going to give you a huge round of applause first. Yes. And also we're going to give you some feedback because everyone will have learned something very unique to them. So we're going to tap into whoever's online with us for them to share what did they get out of the session and how are they going to put it to work in their lives. So let's start tapping in. So Karen, would you like to share with us what you got out of this morning's session?
I'm just in total awe, to be honest, you know. The change in mindset, the ability to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and stick 2 fingers up to the ex-husband. I bet you're driving a far better car than he is right now. And I bet it's going to work.
He's in a 2-bed, I believe he's found somebody, bless her, from Merthyr Tydfil in an ex-council house with a gang of kids. And I just thought, you stay with your karma, mate, because I'm off on one now.
But you know what? You wouldn't be in that place unless it's a really weird thing, but you had to go through it to get where you are.
Yeah.
And to declutter somebody who just wasn't worthy of you.
So Bright, Nicky Bright, that wasn't my name. That was not my name. So when we started branding and we were looking at what was the business name going to be, and we thought Bright Holidays, I changed my name. I was going through a divorce And I just said, I love the name that we created. I love what we're doing. That will be my brand going forward. I'll become my brand.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So it cost me £17 to be Nicky Bright. And my kids, they went on to Facebook and went, Mum, we've been trying to tag you and we can't find you. And I said, look for Nicky Bright. And they went, who's she? And I went, it's me. I've changed my name and I'm just a new person now. And that gave me, when it came through the certificate for £17, I cried my eyes out and I felt, it's as if I'd found my younger me when I was the girl who was 16, who had all the dreams of what her life was going to be like. And I grab her back and I say, right, girl, you're coming into my future with me. Do you remember you wanted to do this and do that and do this? Now we're going to do it, because now your children are grown up. They've flown the nest, and now your husband's gone. You're no longer ironing shirts and having a husband. You're free. And I just felt as if, I don't know, I can't explain it. I just felt the happiest person I've ever been in my life. And I was happy in my marriage, but I became the person I wanted to be when I was age 16. All those dreams and that girl. And I think that's what pushes me forward now, that I'm so independent, that I think to myself, no man in the future is ever going to be taking a property off me. No man is paying for my car or my mortgages, because I've got me to do it. And for me, that's what I hold and I teach my daughter, because that's what's taken me forward, that whoever I meet is because they love me, not because of what I've got, because it's mine.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Louise, over to you. What's your takeaway?
Hiya, Nikki. Oh, that was just fantastic. That's blown me off my seat.
Oh,
Honestly, that was awe-inspiring. I just love anything to do with adversity and creating magic from it. It's what I kind of work as a healer with patients, and it's just wow. And it's interesting actually, because I've had property put in front of me in different spaces, it literally in the last week, with a view to potentially moving in that area. So I'd love to speak to you more about it, because it's I'm just on that point of learning.
okay,
So,
yeah, definitely.
Thank you
so much. So coming to you, Ellen, what's your takeaway?
That was totally incredible. Thank you, Nikki, so much. I've been through divorce myself, so understand how kind of horrific it can be. So I'm just in awe of your strength, and the way you worked on yourself and built yourself up is just amazing. Thank you. Very inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
And over to you, Rachel.
I'm just really envious of your tenacity, and you're so relentless. I'd like to bottle it up and sprinkle a bit over myself. Thank you, brilliant.
Lovely, thank you. And Lucy, our mortgage solutions.
Yeah, pretty much what everyone else is saying. Just feel like anything's possible. I went through a divorce as well, so it's literally, I can relate to things of like how you were treated, but I feel that it's how we bounce back is key, especially for your kids. I bet you they're just going to be incredible and resilient themselves as well.
Oh, they're in awe. They're my biggest cheerleaders. My children say, Mum, you are the person in the world, my mentor, the person that I do everything I do for, because I watch you and I just think, wow, that's my mum. Their kids are so proud. Absolutely.
Oh, that's lush. But yeah, for me, it's different ways as well that what you did to build where you are. And like I said, anything is possible.
Oh, absolutely.
And Miriam, what's your takeaway?
Oh my goodness me, thank you so much for sharing that. It was so lovely. I love to hear a personal story and see how far you've come, because mine is quite not similar with divorce, but mine is a personal story, and it's made where I am today because of it. And I just think you're truly inspiring, and your kids just must be so proud of you. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
So amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miriam. And over to you, Naomi. What did you get from this morning's session?
Yeah, hiya. So I'm very conscious I'm feeling tired at the moment and lots going on, but also needing to find that energy that Nikki has been talking about. And I think Rachel used the word tenacity and being tenacious. And that's what I want to be. So thank you, Nikki, because you've given me a little kick up the bum that I needed,
Oh,
really.
good.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And Kathy, what's your takeaway?
Oh, well, that brought back very many painful memories of the same thing happening. And I remember being sat on my bed, doing all the laundry of all the beds to people that I was having to Airbnb out to, and having to sleep there, basically, you know, in the same house, sharing everything, and the exhaustion of washing another lot of duvets every day, all day. And I was just sat there crying and crying. I can't go on. But you do. And the main thing is, most important thing that you said was that before you do go on, you really do need to do the work on yourself, because you can't carry all that energy that took you to that place is still with you, and it'll take you there again if you don't fix it in that moment. And that's the most important lesson. And so bless you going ahead with that and all the important work you're going to be doing now on like a global scale to show people that and show them, yes, you can get up from that moment and you will win. You know, it's just everything's a learning. Your enemies are your most important teachers.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because what I did was I forgave my husband because I understood what was wrong and why he did it, that I forgave him, and I almost had pity for him because I helped him through a very difficult time himself, where he wanted to kill himself because he then lost everything, and I helped him through it. And by me healing me and knowing that it wasn't my fault, and that I had to start loving me now and making sure that I was the confident one, because unless you heal the past with all the problems that you've got in your mind, they will be your failure of your business. You have to heal them. And once I healed them, then I got, yeah, I get it now. I understand. That's all fixed. I'm like, I close the book on that, and I'm off now. I'm doing what I want to do, and I take no baggage with me.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
And thank you, Kathy. And Lisa, what's your takeaway?
I think your story is amazing. And I started my business when me and my husband split up. We're back together now, but we were split up for 5 years, and that's how I had to start my business, because I didn't work or anything. But like Rachel said, I want to bottle up your energy and enthusiasm and stuff like that and sprinkle it all over me, because I think it's fab.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you, Nicky. You've been such an inspiration this morning. We've all learned so much, and I guess so many people are going to be wanting to chat to you, because we have an event this upcoming Friday at Rachel's amazing offices, and I know you're coming. And
With Leslie, yes.
With Leslie. So
yes.
We will meet the very person that you're talking about in the rich house, poor house. People will almost be able to touch you and say, I want some of that energy. And I know you've agreed to speak on June the 9th for us, when you're going to be giving us some magic as to how you use social media, when we're having the whole session in June, all about media stuff, where Margaret's coming down from North Wales talking about podcasting, and we've got Lisa and Amy talking about online learning and websites. So that's going to be almost like a techie get together. But really looking forward to seeing you on Friday, and I'm sure lots of people are looking forward to seeing you on Friday and sharing more of your magic with us.
Yes.
So just want to give you a final round of applause, because you were amazing. We all loved your story, and looking forward to seeing you on Friday. And yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone at our live event on Friday in Mountain Ash in CBS House. I always say it's Rachel's Google office, because it reminds me of all things just amazing. So yeah, you're going to see us there in Rachel's offices. So have a great day, everyone, and look forward to seeing you. I'm on an hour, same time, same place next Monday. But looking forward to seeing you on Friday. Okay, cheerio, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.